Hey, have you used that app Uber Eats?
No, I haven't.
Man, it's pretty awesome. You know, Uber's famous for, taking over the cab industry. So it looks like now they're taking over the food delivery industry.
Really?
Yeah, what you can do is you can download the app and you can order from tons of places. I actually ordered from McDonald's today, got a 20-piece McNugget delivered to my house.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, it's awesome. The big thing is that you can put in a code that I provide for you and you'll get $5 off your first order.
$5? Wow.
Yes, a whole $5. It's Eats, E-A-T-S dash Brian T 24790UE. That's Eats dash Brian, B-R-I-A-N-T 24790UE. Put that code in, you get $5 off.
That's awesome. I'm so excited.
All right, guys, download the app, put in the code, and save $5 on Uber Eats.
Shootin The Shiznit is sponsored by spunklube.com. Spunklube is an award-winning personal lubricant that's fun. Spunklube is available in 4 varieties: hybrid, pure silicone, natural, and pink. Place your order today at spunklube.com and tell them Shootin The Shiznit sent you.
Blue Chew can now offer you the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis at a fraction of the price, discreetly delivered to your door. No waiting rooms, no appointments required, no embarrassing face-to-face meeting with your doctor. You're just minutes away from a heightened sex life.
Use promo code STS. Get your first month free. All you have to do is pay postage and handling. Now on with the show. Live from STS Studios in St. Louis, Missouri, and I have on the line Bill Superstar Dundee. How's it going, Bill?
Pretty good, Ryan Tramel. How are you doing? I ain't talked to you in 20 years.
I guess the last time we talked was backstage for one of Kevin's shows, probably.
Yeah.
We got a picture taken together, and that was the first picture of all the time I've known you that we got a picture taken together.
Well, you and I didn't just hit it off at the right, like, brothers and sisters in the good old days, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to talk. I'm glad you said that. I listed that down, but I wanted to talk to you about that. I know it just wasn't me. It was generally in people that were outside the business. So you didn't want me back behind the stage, right? Behind the scenes in the dressing rooms.
Well, here's the other thing. You were Kevin's buddy, right?
Well, I was Jerry's buddy for a while, then Kevin's buddy. Yeah.
And you know how Kevin was, but anyway, we won't get into that and Wes Brian's heart, all that kind of stuff. But back in the good old days, people judged you with the company you kept, so me and Kevin wasn't big buddies either, so that was back then, though, 20 years ago. But we're all right now. Here we are, face-to-face, kind of on the telephone.
Well, it's funny because you would give me hell for being backstage, but when you got ready to leave, you always made it a point to come over to me, shake my hand, and say, "See you next time." And I would say, "What the hell? Bill just gave me hell the whole night." But he knows I'm gonna be back, so he says, "See you later." You always used to say, "I'll see you next time, kid." And I was like, "Okay," because Bill just gave me hell the whole night.
Yeah, well, that's how it was. When I started, they gave me hell when I was just a youngster trying to get in this business. All the good old guys, Skull Murphy, Brute Bernard, Mark Lewin, Red Bastine, all them names that came to Australia. If you hadn't been in, they would give you hell. So that's how I learned. So I just did it too.
Right, right. And that's, I mean, you know, the business has totally changed. Even, you know, first time we met, I guess, was 86. If I remember this right, we was in Haytown, Missouri. I was backstage talking to Lawler. You were tagging with Lawler and Rocky Johnson, and Lawler punched Paul Heyman really hard that night. But you, what do you think about what the business has turned into? I mean, it's been a secretive business, but everyone knows what the word kayfabe means now, or think they do.
Well, no, they don't fucking know. The guys use it, and they use it all wrong. They haven't got a clue what it means. Them young kids today don't have a fucking clue. You know, can you swear on your podcast? I hope so.
Oh, yeah, you say anything you want to. This is adult.
But anyway, so, I mean, it's a different... Here's the thing. I mean, I'm sure Hollywood's the same thing. I watched an all interview on John Wayne on Clint Eastwood, and this is all it really was. And Wayne was talking about the movies and the different, how they were. He said, I don't shoot people in the back. Now, this is an actor talking about another actor playing a role in a movie.
Right, right.
And this was 20 years ago, you know what I mean? So and the wrestling business has got that way. The kids today, most of them don't know a wrist lock from a wrist watch. And they've never been in a shoot wrestling match, so they don't really know. But they will flip-flop off.
Yeah, I mean, it's the evolution of what happened, but it's mainly that so many people are, I don't know, exposed to what was going on. When I went into the dressing rooms in '86, I felt like you guys were letting me in there because I knew what was going on. In reality, I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Right.
But you guys taught me a lot of stuff. You know, told me this, don't do that, don't do this, don't say that to anybody, don't say this. You know, things that I could say to other people when I walked out of the dressing room. But that's not what it is. You see guys on Facebook now. They're trying to work. Here's what kills me about Facebook: is they're somebody's friend. Say Joe Blow's wrestling Johnny Appleseed, and Johnny Appleseed and Joe Blow are both friends on Facebook. They buddy on everything, but then one of them cuts a promo on the other that they're going to be in Boonville, Mississippi Saturday night, and they're going to kill each other. So that makes no sense to me. That's one of the things that kills me about the business. Then I think, well, the business is different now, but those guys have to hustle to make a living in the business.
This is what the difference of the business is today. I mean, the boys have smartened the rest of the world up, and nobody buys a ticket. If you get 100 people at a local show, they think that's great.
You know, Bill, I agree 100%, and I don't understand that. It doesn't change in the Mississippi, Memphis, Arkansas area. I've talked to someone recently. So we drew 100 people. We're drawing 100 people every week, and I'm going, okay, so what is that supposed to be?
Yeah, we were doing 10,000 on a Monday night most of the time. And then we'd go up to Louisville on a Tuesday, and they would sell the Louisville Gardens out over to Evansville, Indiana on Wednesday, and they would do a hell of a house over there. Then Lexington, Kentucky on the Thursday, back for Tupelo on the Friday, Memphis TV Saturday, Jonesboro, Arkansas Saturday night, then start all over again the next week. And we had about 7 towns that we run most of the time, and everybody made a good living.
Right, and I always went. I started going in '78 to the Blytheville, Arkansas, over there at the what was it, a Rotary Club or something like that. They had beer.
It was the VFW Club, wasn't it? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And the beer, you know, was sold to everybody. The crowds were rowdy, and they always had everybody in the bleachers, everybody ringside. And when you get a ticket ringside, you thought it was a big deal because everyone wanted, you know, there were so many people in the building, and it's always so hot. Y'all both had the 2 doors. I always loved the 2 doors where one, you know, the bad guys came out of one door and the good guys came out the other. That is totally different now too. So I never thought about that till we just got to talking. But I want to talk about. We talked almost every podcast, everything you talk about. You know, everyone knows I grew up watching Memphis Wrestling, you know, all that. But one of my other favorite wrestlers was Mid-South. We all know you went to work for Bill Watts. I want you to tell me, I want to talk about the trade. Now, there was a huge trade of talent. And then how did it lead to Bill doing the books and not wrestling? That's what I want to know.
You mean when I first went there?
Yeah, when you first went to work for Bill Watts and you set up the deal with Midnight Against Rock and Roll and all of that. Why? Tell us what Bill said to you. I mean, what Watts had actually said to you about you wrestling and also booking.
Well, when he first come up to change talent with Jerry Jarrett, they were only changing talent. I mean, JYD and Hacksaw Butch Reed, they had gone as far. They were all them big monster type guys, and they had itty bitty fellas like us. So Watts was a big guy. He was 6'1" or 2 and 300 pounds, whatever he was, 280. So in his heyday, the cat lad, they were all monsters that worked for Watts. So anyway, he came up to talk to Jerry Jarrett, and they were in the office, and we were walking. So I walked into the office, and Watts was sitting there. That's really the first time I had met him. So Jarrett just said hello to Bill Dundee, Bill Watts, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, they talk about switching talents, and then Jarrett said to Watts, kind of in jest, as much as being for a shoot, he said, talk to that little son of a bitch and see if he'll want to come book it for you. So Watts looked at me and looked at me like we were both crazy, thinking, what am I going to do with this bitch? But anyway, he talked to me, and he said, would you like to come to Louisiana and be the booker? I said, well, yeah. He said, I promise you won't have a week. You've just hired yourself a booker. So I had to put a crew together. Ricky and Robert, Terry Taylor, Magnum TA was already there, the Midnight Express, and Jim Cornette. They had never seen a manager like Cornette there. So everything was new in Louisiana. That was how it all got over. It wasn't that I was that smart, but I'd seen it all work in Memphis, so I knew how to handle all that guys and what to do with it. So it set the place on fire for the next 2 years, and Bill Watts thought I was God, the greatest booker in the world. But anyway, we made him a fortune, and that's what it was all about. And I had a crew that I knew what to do with. That's how this business works. But they don't have crews today. They don't know, you know what I mean? So I don't know where the... Huh?
And why did Watts also told you that he didn't want you wrestling, right? And you was to take a break from wrestling and just book.
Right. So that was the first year, and I did that. So then the boot was on the other foot, so then I went to Watts and said, Bill Watts, if I can't get in the ring and wrestle because I really enjoy doing it, I quit. Well, he didn't want his booker leaving, so he said, well, just book yourself in underneath matches. I said, well, okay. Well, when Dutch came down here, me and him had a program in Memphis, so I started working with him in Louisiana. And then we went from the opening match to the main event because it was drawing money. You know how this business is. If you're drawing money, you can do whatever you want.
Amen, and that's what you was doing as a booker, and then I just thought,
talent, yeah.
Yeah, I just
and
thought
then when Ricky and Robert went off, they went, where the hell did they go? They left, and then we had to get somebody else. So then Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers came in as the Fantastics. Well, I had Terry Taylor first, but that wasn't working out, so I switched Terry for for Tommy Rogers, and the Fantastics took off. So they drew a lot of money there too.
And it's just having those two teams. Midnight Express was always, no matter who was working, Bobby being the mainstay of the whole team, one of my favorite teams. And when I was managing, I just constantly watched those matches to see when the hot tag was, when they were coming out of heat, what the baby faces were doing to stay alive. Just weird stuff not weird stuff, but other people didn't know what the hell I was talking about. But I hate to watch a baby face. Ricky Morton is probably the number one baby face of all time when it comes to fighting back, always fighting back. But to me, that was just genius, sitting down and being able to look around, be objective, and say, these guys right here have a hell of a lot of talent, and we're going to put them over.
Here is the secret of being a good booker. You have to have a crew that will listen to you. And their bodies and my brains was what made all that work. And it wasn't just my brains. I learned a lot of it from Jerry Jarrett and watching Memphis and all the stuff they did up here in Fargo. So the wrestling business was a formula back before it first started, from the 50s or the 40s up until the kids killed it today in the 90s. But anyway, that's another story. But we used to just good guy, bad guy, and that's how it worked.
Right. You're right.
And if you see a fight in a bar and it's a little bitty fella fighting a bigger guy, even if you don't know who they are fighting, you'll want the little guy to win. I hope that little guy kicks that guy's ass. And that's how it is in real life, and that's how it was in the wrestling business, and that's how it is in the movies.
Do you
Good
think
versus evil.
You being you brought up a good point, but you being a little guy when you were heel, do you think that got you over even more because when you'd beat the big guy it would piss everybody off?
Well, I mean, when you were the heel, but I mean, I would cheat to do it. I mean, it was a different thing. I mean, if I had a stick, and in real life, if I got in a fight and I had a stick and you didn't, I'd hit you with a stick. So it was that's just how it was, and that's how life works.
Yep, you're right. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with superstar Bill Dundee.
Yo, man! Come to Florida! We got all of the sights you be wanted to be seeing, man! You can come to SeaWorld! Free your willy, man! Come to Universal Studios! Get your Harry Potter on, man!
Josh, what are you doing? It's not Jamaica, it's Florida.
Well, I heard the trash can drums and I got all fired up.
Well, they're called steel drums, and I tell you what, if you want to hear not steel drums, but you want to see a great family experience, go to tinyurl.com/STSUniversal right now and get reduced Universal Studio ticket prices. Right now is the best time to buy for your vacation, family, loved ones. See Universal Studios and Orlando, Florida in a new way. Go to tinyurl.com/STSUniversal.
That's tinyurl.com/STSUniversal, man!
Once again, it's Florida, not Jamaica.
I am so sorry.
This is your bedroom. This is your bedroom with Blue Chew. Blue Chew uses the same active ingredients as in Viagra or Cialis, but now comes in chewable form. Chewable means better, cheaper, and works faster than pills.
I've tried Cialis, I've tried Viagra. Blue Chew works the best. It's a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew has definitely gotten the job done.
No in-person doctor visit, no waiting in line, no more awkwardness.
Blue Chew allowed me to have more sexual freedom because it kicked in and worked faster.
Ordering Blue Chew is an absolute no-brainer for any man. Blue Chew makes my girlfriend, want to put up with me in bed.
I felt like I did when I didn't have ED.
Order online to get your first month free.
I want my girlfriend to want me, and with Blue Chew, she really does. Blue Chew is the future of manhood.
Go to BlueChew.com and restart the party. Or call 800-232-8803. 800-232-8803.
That's BLUE Chew.com. Promo STS, and you get to try it for free.
Wow.
I hear you.
Wow. Shootin The Shiznit is sponsored by spunklube.com. Spunklube is an award-winning personal lubricant that's fun. Spunklube is available in 4 varieties: hybrid, pure silicone, natural, and pink. Place your order today at spunklube.com and tell them Shootin The Shiznit sent you.
All right, back with superstar Bill Dundee. Bill, we always see Jerry. He works for WWE. His limited time Jerry Lawler right now. But with Bill Dundee, Bill, have you ever reached out to the WWE? Have they ever reached out to you for being part of the Performance Center?
I went up there 20 years ago when it was all going thing, and then the question he asked me, he says, is there anybody who works for me that you don't get along with? Well, I knew Randy Savage and me didn't get along, but I never knew The Undertaker never was mad at me, and I really believe that's why I ain't there. I mean, Mark, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with him, but anyway, I went up and talked to Vince, and then that was the end of that, but I really believe it was The Undertaker that didn't want me there, and that's just how I believed 30 years ago, and I believe it now, so that's just another story.
Right,
I can't prove none of that.
Right, but they don't reach out. I mean, the Performance Center has all kinds of guys go down there and just show different things. That's one of those things that you could give the young guys, especially the guys coming up now, so much. The idea that you could do so less and get over. The idea that
right. That's what it is. Less is more. But the kids today don't understand that. And then me being 75, I ain't gonna hurt. Hell, Vince don't like you if you're over 60.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's not going to hire no old guy today. But when I went there, I was I guess, 50 years old the first time I met Vince McMahon, or maybe 45 or whatever it was. But anyway, I went up to his big house up there in Connecticut and sat there and had lunch with him and his family and all that thing. Said, thank you very much. Then that was the end of that type thing. But I really believe it was Mark, that put the kibosh on that. But that's just another story.
That was a quick meeting of the minds and see you later. Bye, huh?
Well, no, we kind of talked a couple of times in between that, but after then, me and Randy Savage had that deal in the parking lot with a gun and all that bullshit. I mean, when I was going to shoot Randy and all that. I mean, the story that his brother tells, or the Savages tell about that, or the Papa, which is not really what fucking happened. He run away, or I may have been in jail.
Bill, I've heard the legend of you and Savage fighting and the gun being brought up. I've heard the reason why it was something about the gimmicks table. I've heard all kinds of weird stuff. So I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. What actually happened, or what led, all the way to bringing up a gun in the situation?
Well, back in the good, they were trying to take over Memphis, I guess, and I don't know. The Papas were in the wrestling business. Now, Lenny seems like he's the most evil of the lot. I don't know much about him. I've met him, been around, but Randy was goofy. And I don't know if it was drugs, alcohol, or all three that did it all, but anyway, he started the fight because he sucker punched me in the parking lot. Come around out of nowhere, hit me in the eye. So then I thought, well, we've got nose to nose. And I thought, in the back of my car, I wore a store order. And Angelo was in I didn't know where he was, but their band was sitting up on the hill with about 8 guys in it. The whole crew was there, but only 2 came out, Kaz Watley, Thunderbolt Patterson, and Randy Savage, and Randy was the one that sucker punched me. So I thought, well, there's 3 of them and 1 of me, so I'll draw and lane this, I'll just make it all even. So I got to the back of my car, got my briefcase open, and anyway, Randy ran away. I said, Dundee, you're crazy. He just ran away. And Angelo said, I told him, Angelo, get your boy off my back. He was going to jump on my back again. I said, all right, we'll shoot you. So anyway, it's all over at that time. By the time I got home, the cops were there with a warrant for my arrest with assault with a deadly weapon. So I went to Jarrett, and I said, Jarrett, we need a lawyer. He said, what for? I said, I think I got to go to court. So then, anyway, I tell him the story. He said, well, no problem. We'll get us a lawyer. I said, we'll get to court. And when I get to court, they're all there, the Papos, the whole crew, everybody. Me again, me and my lawyer. I saw Randy Savage. No, that's a lie. They fucking hired him after the fight. Jarrett Lawler hired him and brought him into Memphis.
That's right. That's what my next question was, Bill. How the hell was it working with somebody that was trying to, beat the hell out of you?
Well, being punched in the eye is one thing. Him being shot would have been something different. But anyway, I left. I went to Watch. That's after Watch had, talked to me about coming down there, and I went off to Louisiana. I know it may have been Crawford first. I went somewhere, then left, and they brought him in here. And I thought that was a kind of a slap in the face to me, but that's just how it was. Business was business. You know what I mean?
Right. They brought Randy in because they knew they felt like they would make money with him, and that's what it was.
Right, and they did. I mean, it was a true story they were talking about. All that shit happened.
Right.
So anyway, I guess they drew money. I went off to either Crockett in Atlanta, I think it was Crockett in Atlanta, then went over to Watts. But anyway, yeah, they brought him in here. I don't know if they set the place on fire, but anyway, good luck to them.
Tell us about, you've done other things besides be a professional wrestler. You was the story you started with the circus, but then you worked with the circus and everything a couple of years back. You and Randy Hales did. But there was a business venture that I always heard Bill was part of. And tell us about that strip club you had, Bill.
Just like the wrestling business, the only difference, instead of wrestling, they're getting up on the stage and they get half naked or whatever they want to do. And it was a lucrative business. I mean, it was up at exit 126. Going when they park the truck, they're coming to the bar. So anyway, it was very good. And then they changed the laws in Tennessee, and you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. So I thought, well, this is not worth all this aggravation. So that was the end of that. I left that. It's still going, but I don't think it's doing too good. But anyway, it was fun. And you had 20 girls every night to look after instead of 20 wrestlers, 20 men or whatever. So it was different.
So tell me, I'm so interested. When it comes to strip clubs, I've been told different things. Were they paid by the gate like you do in wrestling, or did they pay to be on the stage? I've heard they pay actually to be on the stage.
They pay to work. They paid, back then it was $40 a night for each girl. But hell, they would make $500.
Right.
So, you mean, yeah, they paid you to be on the stage.
See, so guys, you know, when you listen to Shootin The Shiznit, you don't always get talking about wrestling. You find out the ins and outs of strip clubs, so.
Yeah, right. But that was the same thing. We got in the ring and fought one another, and they would wait till they got back to the dressing room to fight, because sometimes them girls would get mad at one another for taking their customers. But that was another story. You'd have to go in the dressing room and pull them apart. But anyway, that was fun, too.
I can't imagine having that many girls in one setting at a time. I mean, I got 3 girls myself, 3 kids, and, you know, when I'm with my wife and my mom, and it's just me, Bill. It's just me with all them women. I can't imagine that.
I hear you. You know, you can imagine alcohol and whatever else is involved in some of them older women. Not older, but you know what I mean. League raised to drink, so you can imagine what goes on there sometimes. But anyway, it was fun. We made money. We made a living. That was good. And then the bad thing about life is getting old.
I know.
When you're 40 or 30 or you're 25, you think this will go on forever. But believe me, boys and girls out there, it doesn't. So whatever you're going to do it now. Because when you get up into the 75 age range, it sucks. And I'm in pretty good shape for how old I am, or the shape I'm in, or whatever you want to say it. I still go to the gym, work out every day, still get in the ring and wrestle, but it sucks.
Well, that's the one thing that I can say I've said every time when I see you is that you're in fantastic shape, you know, better shape than I'm 52 and my knees hurt like crazy. You were saying something, my buddies there, Max and Josh on P3 Radio, I've been knowing those guys for a long time, and especially Max. And you was talking about, you just said something, they didn't ask you anything else, but I heard you say it. You said you like tag team wrestling better than singles, and that just surprised me because to me you was always a singles wrestler. But what did you like best in being a tag team?
Well, that's how I started. When me and Barnes came from Australia, it was George Barnes and Bill Dundee. It came here in 1975, and I don't know, I just enjoyed the tag team part. If you do it right now, I don't know that today it's all, like we said, that John Wayne didn't like Clint Eastwood movies because he shot the guy in the back. But it has all changed to what I did and what they don't do. But when I did tag team wrestling, I enjoyed that because you could stand in the corner and cheer your partner on, or he could cheer you on, and you can get the people into it a lot better. It was just easier if you were doing it right to get the people into it with 4 guys in the ring, and it was 2, I thought. And I enjoyed doing it.
Well, that's always been my been the fun thing with me. I've always been a big, huge tag team person and sat and watched it. I want to tell a Bill Dundee story on me and see if you remember this. Trey Keller, and we're at Mr. White, Gary White's show, and Trey brings me in to manage, and you just didn't know I was coming. You didn't know I was coming. You knew the tag teams was coming. You was booking the show. Trey brings me in, and you say, you know who I am, but you look at Trey and you look at me and you said, who the hell are you? What are you going to do? And Trey says, he's funny. You're going to love him. He's a great comedy manager. And you say, I hate comedy managers. And Trey said, well, we'll make him serious. He's going to be serious. And you said, you looked at me right now and you said, you ain't getting paid no extra for your teams. You just take money from them. And I said, all right, you got it. And that was it. I bet you don't remember
the good old days. That was all different today as it was back then. If they've been in the business 5 minutes, they think they know everything about it. So now he wants to put a tag team together and have a comedy match. Yeah, well, you're talking to the wrong guy if you're coming to tell me that. Not that we didn't do comedy in the good old days. Don't get me wrong. Jackie Fargo was the best at it. But the young kids won't know that name today, Jackie Fargo, unless they just kept up with it for the last 50 years.
Yeah, Trey was quite a character. He really was.
Oh, he was on out there. He could get a little goofy sometimes, but anyway, yeah, I go along good with him. So, well, I go along good with most people.
He taught
except Brian Tramel.
Well, he taught my guys a lot when it came to psychology, just mainly singles matches because I was always the big tag team guy. But just telling them they had a match, and then he wouldn't let me. They was bringing me. I was working for Killer in Mid-South, and they was bringing me out for every match. And Trey said, "Look, Coach BT does not go out but for my match." So that kind of made me understand that I was important if I went out with one team. But I really wasn't important if I went out with everybody.
Right, you wasn't, and that's how it was back then. Yeah, the psychology, the business just was like that.
But you did that with Cornette, where in Memphis, Jimmy Hart went out with the tons of people, but you made it where Cornette in Mid-South was only going out with his team.
Yeah, the Midnight Express, it was just, and here's the other thing. If you thought the team or the individual needed help to get the match over or get a little heat, you put the manager with him. But if they could do it by themselves, Lawler didn't really need a manager. He could talk better than most people, work better than most, so he didn't really need anybody. Bill Dundee didn't need anybody, but some people did. Bobby Eaton was one of the greatest workers in the world, but he wasn't the best talker, so you needed Cornette to do the talking for him.
Just a fantastic team. Bill, I want to thank you for coming on today. I want to thank all my listeners. We're going to be back here. First, before you leave, I almost did my catchphrase before letting you put your shit over. So tell me all the stuff that where we can reach Bill Dundee, what we can get from you, Bill.
All right, let me get back to my office here. I was sitting up the front of the house drinking coffee, so I will wander back here and see if I have my phone number wrote down so I can give it to people if they want to get in touch with me to book me or buy a DVD or do anything that I do. So my phone number is 901-356-0387. 901-356-0387. That's me. That's my office phone. So if you call that and you want to buy anything, or book me, or do whatever, or just want to say hello, call that number and I will answer it. And the rest of the thing, I have DVDs, T-shirts, wrestling going back 40 years. If you want to know all about that, I have more shit in this office than you can poke a stick at. But anyway, that's where you find Bill Superstar Dundee to book him or buy merchandise. And just call that number and I will answer the phone and talk.
And you can search, what do we search on Facebook? You got a Facebook page too.
Yeah, that's bdundee88.com. I don't know what it is. Lex Luthor usually does that. I have no idea what it is. But anyway, me and Rex do that, so Rex Luthor does all that. So, but if you call the number, I'll get it for you. So, and the computers, that's the way about me. I can hardly write, never mind use a computer. So anyway, that's
now,
the good
Bill,
old days. But
if I wanted to book you for a seminar, an autograph session, work the main event, it don't matter what we want to book you for, right?
No, anything. You want to book me to come over and eat dinner? I've done that too. Mama cooked dinner and I come over and eat dinner. But anyway,
all right, guys.
That number I just gave you, anything, call that number. That's directly to me.
I'm going to bring you over to eat supper with my mom. How's that?
That'd be good. All right, we're good. They would know what we was talking about. We're all, so like I said, I've been around here since 1975. So when was you born?
I was born in 66. My mom is 72, so my mom's the same age as you.
Yeah. I hear you. So it'll be the same. We grew up watching the same things, Elvis Presley and Jerry Lee Lewis. Yeah, I got you. We go back that far, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember everyone. See, I'm kind of the old man in the group of podcasts. When I can remember where I was standing when Elvis died. Some people don't know what the hell I'm talking about there, but I can remember that, and that being so important in the Memphis area. And I talk about this on the podcast. But Bill Dundee could walk in anywhere in Memphis, Tennessee right now, and there would still be fans wanting his autograph and want to talk to him or just touch him, because that TV show was so popular, and you guys were superstars. And I've said this before. When I get to talking with you guys and I hang out with you guys, you or Dutch or being able to talk to Jerry, it's always like I'm talking to somebody that, like one of those TV shows like Gilligan's Island or something that I grew up watching, but I'm with Skipper and Gilligan now.
I hear you. Yeah, and it was different there. And here's the sad thing. I mean, most of the boys would go to the bar Friday night and show up with a hangover Saturday morning. And I'm telling you, most of them did that. So, but the people sitting at home didn't know. Well, me and Tommy Richard went from the bar straight to TV. Now, that is terrible to say, but we did it. But we was a lot younger, and we could, still carry on and perform like they expected us. But it was a different era back then than it is today. Well, there's no TV show. I guess Vince makes one. But that Saturday morning live television every Saturday was, mercy. 30 years I did that, so and we're still here. So anyway, it's a different era then. It's what we did and what the kids today are doing, I don't know. But I'm just glad I had my 40 years in the sun in Memphis, Tennessee. So still here to talk about it.
Amen. That's what I'm glad you guys are still around, because this business sometimes eats somebody up and throws them out, and you don't hear from them or know where they're at. So hey guys, I want to thank you again for listening. Thanks Bill for coming on. We're gonna be here same bat time, same bat channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as you know, I love my mama. Hey, thanks, Bill. I appreciate it.
All right, Brian Tramel, I appreciate you having me on. So you want to do it again sometime, just call that number, 901-356-0387, and you will find the superstar.
Hey, man, it was a pleasure. It was fun. I appreciate you telling people you didn't like me. I love that. So.
Well, I mean, I never go along with the young Lawler.
Graphic design is very important. Your logo is the first image potential customers see. What kind of impression would you want to make today? Need a podcast logo or a t-shirt design? KT does art. Her name has become synonymous with quality and professionalism in the graphic design community. She specializes in graphic design, painting, and more. She provides affordable commissions and professional quality with a timely delivery. Contact KT via email at kt_doesart@yahoo.com. Check out her Instagram at instagram.com/kt_doesart.
Hey, that was another great episode of Shootin The Shiznit. Thank you for listening. We're always looking for contestants for Who Wants to Be the Best Shiznitter Ever. Do you want a Shootin The Shiznit t-shirt? We'll go to wehavemerch.com, wehavemerch.com. Shirts start at only $12.99 and sizes up to 6XL. A big shout out to our sponsors this month. We do appreciate it. You can also go to patreon.com/shootintheshiznit, and for only $1 you'll get the special feed every month where you get episodes commercial free. And also, all the bloopers are in there. Yeah, that's right, all the bloopers. A special thanks to Bob McGee at Pro Wrestlers Between the Sheets. That's www.pwbts.com. Gene Jackson at localstolegends.com. And Sean Garmer at Wrestling to Max website, and that's w2mnet.com. You can follow me, Brian Tramel, at Comic Book Mark BT. You catch us on Instagram at BT Shootin The Shiznit. That's right. And remember, we have a Facebook site, a actual Shootin The Shiznit Facebook site. We have the Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk Facebook group. If you act a fool on there, we'll kick you out. You can listen to all the archives at www.stspod.club. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, Podcasting Addict, Spreakers, and we are also on Spotify. Hey, a big podcast roll call. Our buddy Suplex and Limits, Creative Control, Keeping It 100. Max and Josh over at P3 Radio. And non-wrestling podcasts, we got Who's Right Podcast, Po Boys Podcast, and a new one added this month. Well, 2 new ones, Man Brain Podcast and Unbelievably Stupid Podcast. That's right, I'm Brian Tramel. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Good night.